wants the conservatorship to end immediately, going so far as to say she wants to press charges against her dad, who is the conservator of her estate. Jody Montgomery, who is the conservator of her person, is supporting the effort to remove Jamie Spears. On Friday, the singer took to Instagram sharing this cryptic quote saying, "If standing up for yourself burns bridges, I have matches, we ride at dawn." Now, Spears also has powerful advocates outside of the courtroom as well. One of her biggest, 98 Degrees star Jeff Timmons, who is our special guest on the show today. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on Court TV and talking with us about the work you are doing. It is just tremendous work that ought to be applauded for your colleague and friend.
Well, Julie, thank you. It's the least I can do. Thanks so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Let's begin with this Free Britney radio initiative that you recently launched, where we heard stations all across the country uniting, raising awareness for this legal predicament that she's in. And I wonder, Jeff, was there a moment for you that you just felt like, okay, enough is enough. I want to stand up and use my voice to try to help her?
Well, look, I'm not a very big political advocate. I don't go out there, hammering the ground about, issues and things like that. But having my own experience on a minuscule level compared to what probably Britney's been through and seeing what's going on. And after the documentary, the Framing Britney documentary, it blew me away. And of course, hearing her speak in court, I was asked to do some radio stuff with this company and sort of put a package together. And it sort of fell on the same day as their last court date. So I was like, why don't we just do something for free? Let's put together a package of all the Britney songs, cover songs, interviews with fans, and get out there and really support Britney and deliver it for free, not try to draft off of all the hype, really just show our support and solidarity at radio and artists as much as we can in the lane that we can.
Just wonderful. Jeff, take me back. When was the last time you saw her or spoke to her, please?
Well, I went to see her in concert a couple years ago. And, this was, Britney had a residency in Vegas. I live in Vegas, big fan of hers. We shared some of the same, management and our lawyer was on her team as well. So I got invited to see the show, which I had been excited about seeing for a long, long time. And she had a successful, I think a couple of hundred shows here in Las Vegas consistently. And of course was blown away by the performance. Obviously great music and intricate dance moves. And it obviously takes a lot to be cognizant and put that together. So I figured if she can get up and do that and generate hundreds of millions of dollars, she should have the rights to control her life.
She is incredibly talented. There's no doubt about that. And, we see her on stage. We're in awe of her on stage. But you know what she's like off stage. You two toured together. You both share a massive common fan base. And I'm curious, what was it like, touring with her, having her as a colleague, as a friend? And in particular, what are the things that you think might maybe surprise people about her, or things that people may not realize about her?
Well, look, she's a flashy performer. She gets up on stage and like I said, does intricate dance moves and very complicated staging and explosive energy on stage. But behind the scenes, I can't claim that we're best friends and we know her that well. But behind the scenes, co-headlining with her, she was lovely to be around. She was a complete joy. She was gracious to the fans. She was quiet, soft-spoken, and just her energy was just incredible.
I'm sure she is just incredibly talented and has put in so many years of work in the industry. And with all of that, fame and all of the fans, there also comes unwanted attention, of course. And Jeff, you understand what it's like being in the spotlight, rising to fame, having an incredible music career. And with it comes a lot of pressure, a lot of attention. What do you think is important for people to understand about how that can affect someone and how it may have affected Britney Spears?
Look, people have to understand we're all human beings. And obviously we make a choice to go into this sort of, career for, fame and recognition, for the love of music, or for whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we're all still people. And us being in our early 20s and going out there and experiencing extraordinary success on a minor level compared to the stratosphere, that Britney Spears lives in, that was tough for us as men in our early 20s, let alone, I can't imagine what it was like for someone like her in her late teens, early 20s and being a female. It had to be overwhelming. your circle changes as much as people think that you do. Your circle around you starts to change. And that could be anybody that's close to you, friends, family, and the people that you really trust. And so a lot of times people don't understand all the things that go behind the scenes. And you just have to keep in mind and be sensitive to the fact that these people are human beings just like everybody else. They share the same physiology and emotions and sort of ups and downs that everybody else does. And, it can be a tremendous amount of pressure. And you got to feel for someone like her that's really sort of under the microscope all the time. And social media as it exists today wasn't around when we first started. And she sort of transcended that period and is still in that under that microscope. And it's got to be a very, very heavy burden on her shoulders.
Most certainly. And you are so humble, Jeff. Your humility ought to be commended because you and your fellow band members have sold millions of records. You have millions of fans all over the world, and you're very humble to say that. Certainly wishing you much more continued success. You're touring right now. You've got a brand new single out, 98 Degrees single, Where Do You Want to Go? You guys have a lot going on here, and you know what that pressure is like. It's immense. Let me ask you about when we heard the leaked recordings from that first court hearing back in June. And the judge, this judge was obviously very thoughtful in trying to protect everything and the secrecy and the decorum of those proceedings. And somebody recorded it, somebody leaked it, it's on TikTok, on YouTube, everybody's listening to it. When you heard her speaking and how she sounded, what did you think?
Well, I was completely shocked and blown away. I mean, you see the Framing Britney documentary and you go, wow, that is really compelling. There were some rumblings about what was going on behind the scenes, and you heard that some pretty obscure, strange things were happening. But until you saw the documentary, which you could still go, okay, well, that's one side of things. There's probably another side. But until you heard her speak from her heart in the studio, or in the courtroom rather, and all of the compelling things that she was saying, some of the stuff sounded downright medieval to me. It sounded like a travesty. And certainly, while you don't want things to sort of hamper the court system and the justice system and due process, I'm glad it came out so people could kind of get a glimpse of the things that she's going through and experiencing.
Right. It is so sad. I mean, it was just chilling. I mean, hearing her say that she's been traumatized, calling it abusive, and even going so far to say she wants her own dad charged with conservatorship abuse, which I wanted to ask you about that because we know it's not like someone can just press criminal charges, even though we hear that lingo thrown around, in the public. There has to be an investigation first into this conduct that she's saying is abusive and against the law. Tell me, Jeff, do you think, based on what you know, that maybe an investigation is warranted here for her dad and for what's happened to her?
Well, Julie, I'm no legal expert like yourself, but I mean, just from a layman on the outside, if everything is on the up and up, why not invite an investigation, right? And let the due process happen and the checks and balances occur. I completely am all for it. And hopefully, tragedy and these egregiouses won't be uncovered, but you never know until you do an investigation.
Exactly. That's the truth. And, and ironically, her dad has been saying he wants an investigation into her claims. So maybe we will see it happen. We'll keep an eye out. In the meantime, I want to ask you, Jeff, what is next for you? What is next with the advocacy work? What else do you have planned, please?
Well, since we gave away the Free Britney package, and I think we were embraced by over 100 stations of radio, which we love. We're not making the impact that the Free Britney movement and her fans or advocates like Lisa McCarley are kind of creating and shedding light on it. But we're gonna create a radio show about this type of thing, not specifically about Britney. Obviously, we're going to cover all the things that are going on with her, but just some of the injustices that occur, not only with recording artists and entertainers, but people in general with regards to guardianship and conservatorships. And I'm partnering up with Cloud 10 Entertainment and iHeart. We're going to be launching that in September, and just kind of continuing to draw awareness to some of this stuff. It's a very, very important cause that's near and dear to my heart as well.
Oh, well, that is certainly evident. Everything you're doing, you can tell how much you care about someone that, you go way back with, someone who you shared a lot of great experiences with. And we are wishing you much more continued success, Jeff. You're just incredible. The singing, the songwriting, the acting, the producing. We know you're acting in a movie with one of our Court TV regulars, David Atunga, recently. Congrats on that. I know that's going to be released sometime soon. And in addition to your single that just came out with 98 Degrees, Where Do You Want to Go? So congrats on all of your success. We wish you much more, and we welcome you back anytime on Court TV.
Well, Julie, thanks for covering all that stuff. I appreciate it. I want to make it clear that I came on here to talk about this this movement and all that stuff, so people don't think I'm trying to draft on the press. Although I really appreciate your kind words, and probably too kind. But thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for covering this very, very important topic.
No, it's our pleasure, and I can attest it. This is totally me just speaking, and congratulating you on all of that. Jeff Timmons, thank you so much. We hope to talk with you again soon. Take good care.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you too.